Koppel, host of the Time for Coffee podcast, where you get firsthand career advice into the jobs and industries that interest you the most. And before we start today's show, I have a quick favor to ask you. If you haven't already, I'd be incredibly grateful if you give us a rating and a review on iTunes. And if you're like me, you need to do it now because you'll forget later and because it's the best way to help others who may be in search of career advice to find this free resource. So press pause if you haven't done it and do it right now. I'll wait. Thanks so much and enjoy today's show. Hey there, Java Junkies. Welcome to another K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. By the way, K-Cups come in 3 sizes, single, double, and triple shots, or roughly 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes in length. So if you don't have time to throw back an entire caffeinated career conversation, these K-Cup mini episodes of T4C can give you a quick caffeinated fix, whether you're on the go or you only have a few minutes to binge. So grab your mug and take a chug, because it's time for a caffeinated career double shot K-Cup with my guest, Jeremy Sirota. Jeremy, I wanted to ask you what advice you might have for undergrads or recent grads who want to get into the music or entertainment industry. What are some of the less obvious, but maybe super interesting places that they could be looking for entry-level jobs right now?
Yeah. One would be touring. Touring is coming back. There's challenges still. But there's a lot of you can't understate the value of in-person, as we have all discovered now over the last couple of years. And working at a venue, I can't tell you how many people, even to this day, have started off working at some, and it doesn't have to be a giant stadium. It could be a small, my friend got his start at Blue Note. And I still know plenty of people who've gotten their start there. So that's a really great place. It's also one of those places that can be more adaptable if you need to work a second job, because a lot of those can be at night or on the weekends. So that can be very conducive. I would definitely keep an eye open around any music tech startup. They are looking for people who are hungry, because to work at a startup typically entails just long hours. And I can't understate, I know people, and there's a lot of value to a work-life balance and to having a better mental awareness of yourself and the impact of overwork especially. But when you're earlier in your career, your ability to put more hours in is more. And you need to learn to sort of take advantage of that. So one of the pieces of advice I always give to folks is, I had a woman who came to me who was, no joke, working in the oil and gas business and wanted to get into music. And when she showed up to talk to me for advice, she had already started a music blog and was working with a couple friends, not herself because she didn't know anyone, but to like find a band to help manage. And she, going back to some of the other things we've talked about being proactive and just not waiting for someone to find the path for her, but just trying different things to see what could work. And so there's a lot of different ways to do it, but music tech startups, venues are really 2 great places to keep an eye out. So don't say, I just graduated from college, I want to go work at Spotify. That can be very challenging. Possible, don't get me wrong, but challenging. But some of these smaller companies, especially, they recognize people who are hungry and are really excited about getting involved and solving big problems.
How can our listeners find those tech startups?
Yeah. I have 2. It's not complicated. It gets more complicated outside of the US, Canada, Western Europe. But even there, it's developing more. LinkedIn should be your friend. It is absolutely an incredible resource that is overlooked all the time. You'd be shocked how much companies say about themselves on there. You'd be shocked how much you can find, not just where people work now, but where they used to work. And it's a great way.
What would the search terms be that somebody could put in to find those companies?
Yeah. So that then dovetails with another one, which is Crunchbase. Crunchbase is a great resource. They have a whole section called Music Tech Startups, where they try to list out every music tech startup. You can then tie that into some of the newsletters in the music industry, many of which are free. So Hypebot is free. Music Business Worldwide is free. Billboard has some free elements to it. So there's all these different music newsletters you can sign up to as well. If you literally just Google top 20 music newsletters, you can find a bunch that are going to be really helpful for you.
Thanks for tuning in to this K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. If you want to listen to our entire caffeinated career conversation, please check out the show notes for this episode. Thanks so much for listening to this latest episode of T4C. And if you're interested in learning more about my coaching services for confused college students and recent grads, feel free to check out the Time for Coffee website under the coaching tab at time4coffee.org or text me at 202-236-5712. That's 202-236-5712.